Alright, welcome along. My name's Bosch, and today we're going to be carrying on a tutorial that I started a while ago. I'm terrible at uploading these videos, and I want to become better at doing it more regularly. But until then, this video was part of Bosch's Beginner Bits Part 3, More Steppers. So I'll link that video below. You can go back and check it out. And then this project file is also available on Scraps. Now, scrapsaudio.com is a place where you can buy project files and samples and all sorts of music production stuff. I'm not going to go too much more because I like to get straight into the video, but check out scrapsaudio.com for the project file, and it's relatively cheap on there. I'm going to put it up at a real cheap price just for this tutorial. So without further ado, let's listen to all the parts that we've got so far. I'm going to play everything at once, like so. And then let's take some bits out. So there you can hear just drum and bass. All right. So a lot of you asked me in the comments how I would carry this tune on. So the first thing I think I'd do is just try and tweak a few of the sounds first before I start arranging. It's not quite where I want it to be sonically. It still sounds a little bit Toy Town, a little bit like I've used an old Yamaha keyboard or something like that. Especially the trumpets. Now, brass is famously hard to get right when using MIDI, unless you've got a really good sampled instrument. I don't have one. But let's go through. What I've done is I've written a few little notes on here that you can see. So this variation, this snare, I wanted to put some variation on it because it's just a 1-bar loop. So let's do that first. So what I'm going to do here, I've got 1-bar loop. I'm going to click duplicate. And I'm going to click duplicate again. Now let's listen to just the drums. Now, the first thing I do here is vary it by putting in a different type of rim shot as well. So I'm going to go... Now, this part of this video, a big part of it was using only Ableton samples, so I'm going to continue that. Let's go to the Ableton samples. Let's type in rim. And let's see which one we've already got so we don't duplicate. Rim 505. That's the one we've got at the moment. See, they're the same but a little bit different. That would be tempting. Let's do that canvas one. And then all I do is decide, like a really common one is to do every other one, a slightly different one, like this. So that needs gain staging because it's not playing loud enough, so let's just sort that out. We need to trim the start of the sample here. Grab that little arrow, move it across. And then let's just listen to the... Right, that volume needs going up. So I'll just turn it up here. Now that's actually a little bit louder now, but it's sonically different, so I'm going to leave it louder for now and let's see how it sounds. Right, so we've already made it last longer. You're not hearing 1 bar and thinking, right, I know what's going on now. You can hear 4 bars before you start thinking, oh, okay, I know the pattern now. Another way you could vary it, let's keep those 2 rims, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pattern here. So I'm going to do it like a triplet pattern here. I think this is what I want. Notice how there's 2 spaces between each note. Now for that, I'm going to keep that idea, but I'm not going to... Let's Let's try do that. No. See what I want to do. Right. So already I know what I want to do with this, but I need to change how these drums are set up. So I'm going to click on this little circle here. And then we're going to click on return here as well. See that? And now I'm going to drag my reverb. It's currently on the whole snare kit setup, but I'm going to drag it into there. And then we click S and watch. You want to watch this area here. All right, we get sends now. So now we've got a send. We can use this as a send and return effect. And I want another... Yeah, let's try that one. Now, I'm going to... Because I want the reverb still on the first two on the 505 and the canvas rim. I'm going to say the names of them just because it makes it easier to see what's going on. Let's do that and do that. And then now, the key when you're using reverbs like this is that you put them to fully wet, 100% wet there. Because you're already getting, with a send and a return, you're getting the dry signal and then you're getting the reverb signal on top of it separately. If you have it any less than 100%, you're going to get dry signal and then you're going to get wet and dry signal. So you're doubling up your dry signal. Hope that makes sense. So you want to always turn that to 100%, that wet knob there, whenever you're using it as a send and return. And let's have a listen how that sounds. Okay, now that's increased in volume now because of this, because we're not just adding the reverb to the original sound, we're making a separate channel. So I'm just going to turn them down a little bit. Let's turn them down 4 dB. Oh, a little bit more. 5, 6, 7. Let's do 7 dB. Why is that topping out there? That's weird. That shouldn't be topping out. Let's do it minus 15. We're going to have to deal with a little problem here. Let's try and figure this out as we go. Why? What am I missing? Why is this happening? All right. That's why. I'm an idiot. I've turned down the wrong thing. Turn that back up. That's more like it. I'm just an idiot sometimes. I'm not perfect. I ain't no professional. Now, this bit I'm going to put onto the dry rim. Now, this rim's going to be completely dry when you hear it, because I didn't send it to the return reverb. See, now I'm not happy with the reverb. I don't think it fits the general going on of the thing. So I'm going to change it to a spring. No, I don't like that one. Too moist. That moist crash preset's way too moist. Again, a bit weird. What have we got? Why are these also? Oh, that's tangy. Let's. There we go. It's not too prangy in your ears. There you go. Just a little variation there. So let's listen to the snare track on its own now. So I'm going to be tempted to turn that, turn the volume of the reverb down a little bit so it's not so much in your face. Yep. So now we've got 4 bars of variation now. So that's that done. Hats, I wanted to add some FX interest to the hats, so let's listen to them on their own. pretty dry. What we did last time is took all the low end out, a little bit of mid there as well. But notice I didn't take too much mid out. If I turn this off, there's not too much difference. It doesn't get too thinner, too much. Don't get thinner, don't get much thinner. You could EQ your hats like this, but you're losing a lot of the sonic information there. I think, why not put it about that? Maybe I might even take that down a bit, actually, get a bit more back. Now, FX interest, what I'm going to do is add, I think I'm going to add a phaser. So let's go to audio effects. It's in pitch and modulation. A lot of people will be like, how can you still use the folders? Why haven't you got it stretched out? I kind of got used to the folders before I realized you could stretch it out. All right, I want that to go slower. Let's blend it a bit more. All right, now I'm going to add this just in. Yeah, I want it to be louder than the original sound. So now what you've got is this movement in the hats that you didn't have before, and you've not even had to do anything. Let's see about the pattern. I'm all right with that. That's cool. I might up the feedback. Now, what I like to do is sort of check what the maximum of an effect sounds like, and then bring it back down a bit from there. So now that's too much. I want it so it's like just audible. There we go. Let's sort that spread out. All I'm doing, I'm just playing with the knobs until I get something I like. I'm not one of these producers who's sat here like, turn it to 1.5K and then put the wet knob up to 75%. I play with it. It's all about sound, how it sounds, how you want it to sound, and, you know, the kind of thing you want to be adding to that sound. Now this, if you look here, it's giving it a little bit of panning. That's not the end of the world. That's cool. And it's not too aggressive panning. I wouldn't want it to be completely switching to either side. It's staying in the middle and it's just kind of moving around there. So let's listen to the whole thing. No, I don't want that to be as deep because it's doing quite a lot of phasing. Let's turn that feedback down a bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with that for now. Don't need too much more on that. Let's do reverb later. All right, so it looks like I wanted to EQ these. I know exactly why, because they sound a bit middly, a bit mid. And look, that's exactly where they are. So let's maximize this, double click on there. Let's get rid of the lows. Don't need them lows. And what I might try and do is make like a fake frequency up here. I don't know if that's possible. I've just made it up on the spot. Pardon me. But let's see. So let's turn the Q up a little bit. Let's... Yeah, so you can hear that's the prime bit. But I just want I want it to be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to do that because there's a frequency there that's coming through, and then I'm going to add air. Take a little bit more of this out. Again, no, there's not really any technique to this. I'm just a guy who likes making music. And then I want to bring it up in the mix until it's just keeping that rhythm. But it's not the main focus of the sound, if you know what I mean. All right, we've done that. Let's have a listen to this bass. And all we've done is a saturator there. It's still got a lot of sub. Let's put an EQ on it so we can see. We've still got this sub information, but we've also got harmonics down here, which has come from that saturation. So if I turn that off, it'll just go back to sub. It should do anyway. Yeah. So you can see what the saturator does. It's adding a little bit of mid fuzz there. Yeah, you can see them appear there. Don't really want to do much with that. The skank, now it says I wanted to add spice to this. Now, if I remember when I made these notes, adding spice means a couple more little notes in between the skanks. So what I've done here, you might have just looked at that and thought, why have you put those notes there? So this chord here is A minor. And then all I've done is added the middle note from the next chord. So let's get rid of that. So the next chord here, that is, what's that? G major. So all I've taken is the middle note of the G major and put it in the middle of that gap, that one bar gap, well, that one beat gap here. And it just adds a little highlight. That needs to be something else. Let me just play my keyboard because I need to figure out where this is. Why can't I find this note? Is it here? Where is it? Could be it. Now I'm going to take each one of them. Oh, that's. Not happy with that note there, but I'm going to leave it for now because I'll end up playing with it for ages and you'll all be like, what the fuck am I watching this guy playing with a note for? So that's the kind of spice I wanted to add. And what I do is copy that and then delete the stuff that I made. You could do it the other way around. You could obviously copy the track first and then make your edits. And now you've got two sections with some variation in. Easy, done. that's section 1, and then you can switch it to section 2. Right? And that's how you add spice, just little things like that. Melody, it says vel and improve sound, so I'm assuming this means velocity. Of course it means velocity, why wouldn't it? Now, you can see I've already drawn these in, so I'm going to show you a little like hack for editing this afterwards. All right, let's improve the sound first, because that sounds terrible. So this is a macro knob that's linked to the attack of all these. But I'm gonna, it's sounding a bit, I think that's what's making it sound really like Toy Town-esque, is that the higher sort of, it's too plinky, I don't know, it's too much in that top register of notes. So I'm gonna drop some of these tunings here down a bit. Course here, 9, let's... And let's turn this saturator on. Now I'm going to change this. I'm going to change the setup here, and so I'm going to run D through C. Yeah. So something else, I feel like it could be a little bit stabbier and choppier. So let's find the release. We're going to map the release here to macro 2. And then if you click on click on this, click on the release, right click and go, oh, where's map to all siblings? Map to all siblings anywhere? Anyone see map to all siblings? All right, for some reason it's not there, so I'm just going to have to do it to each one. So all the release knobs for this, the whole of operator, are all going to be linked to the same macro knob here. There, so it's got more chop. Now I'm going to add a reverb in the background of that, but like I'm saying in the background because it's going to be real in the background, because I want it to be like almost a room, like replicating a room. So let's go room. Let's find living room. And then we're going to add this from the bottom because it's just creating the like space of a room, so it doesn't need to be much. Let's turn it up more so I can hear it, so I can EQ it. It's quite a bright room. All right, so it's dry, and let's... That's good. What else we got? Oh, I'll tell you what else we can do. I'm going to Control and A, shorten some of these notes. And I'm shortening all of them there. All right. Now, what I promised to do here was show you how you can sort of edit your velocity after the fact. Now, what I'd prefer to do is play that in. So I'd use my keyboard, play it in, and then you're automatically getting different velocity changes, different timings and things like that. But a lot of people don't have a keyboard, and I want to try and keep this as simple as possible and for people who are just starting out. So what we're going to do. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to select, hold shift, and then you're going to go through and select random notes in each chord. Let's do that one, that one, that one, and that one. A little bit time consuming, but I like to sort of do it this way. So I've got a manual control of the velocities and the timings of things as well. I've left them there. Let's do that. Let's do everyone. Why not? Like I say, you're just going to pick a random one. It doesn't matter which one. You can do the same one a couple of times there. Let's do a top one and a middle one and a top one and the bottom. All right, let's leave that last chord as is. And then what you're going to do, a couple of things. Firstly, you're going to shift them all a little bit to the right. You hold Alt and press your arrow key. You see how that's shifting them slightly? Only a little bit. And then I'm going to also grab these and pull the velocity down just a touch. Now, I'm going to do it again. I might catch the same notes. Who knows? I probably won't, though, because now they're a slightly darker colour. So let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. Hang on. Let's get them all in the screen there. So the good thing is, because the ones are darker, you're less likely to catch them twice, although it doesn't matter if you do. It's not the end of the world. Let's do that and that. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, you're an idiot. There's a way better way to do this. Maybe there is, but this is just how I've done it in the past. When I've, like, if ever I've drawn in chords and just copied and pasted them, which I'm pretty sure is what I've done here by the looks of it, 'cause everything's so rigid. This is the way I like to edit them. So you're getting little bits of variations and stuff here every so often. Same again. Let's zoom in a bit. Now, I would put these ones backwards a little bit. And let's put the velocity up a little bit. Now let's see how this sounds. Already sounds way less cheesy. I wish I'd have kept the original one to play it, but I didn't. So that already sounds a little bit more natural, a little bit less cheese. And let's listen to it with the full tune. So without the sub. Now I'm going to go back to the skank and just turn it up because I hate volumes not being as high as they can be. I'm going to get a utility. Audio effects. Utilities. Let's get the utility on there. Actually, no, let's get an EQ. Because an EQ is pretty much a utility and an EQ. So just on the brass for a second, let's take this low end out again. And then turn it up a little bit. All right, back to this, the one titled melody that's actually the bubble. Now I want to make it a little bit thinner, so I'm going to EQ again. Let's take out these lows. But then let's do a little bit of the highs as well. And that's just giving me an idea. That sounds just for rhythm. It's not really a main component of the tune, so it doesn't need to be up there blasting out. It's just a little. It's the opposite to the drums. It's the opposite to the kick drum. Cool. Now, the idea I had with this was a phase, an EQ sweep. So I'm going to drag an auto filter. Now, this is quite an important thing. The auto filter needs to go before the reverb for me, because the reverb is then, it's reverbing the changes that the auto filter makes. The auto filter isn't filtering the reverb, it's the other way around. So let's do... All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to group the auto filter in its own instrument rack, expand it, right click on there, and you're going to create chain. So what you've got is you've got the filtered version and you've got the original version. Now, bear in mind I am in Ableton 11, so if you're in an earlier version, you might not have a couple of the things that we've got in here. But let's see. LFO. All right. So you can drag the LFO tool. It's in modulators there. Drag it inside this rack. It can be anywhere because it's just a control device. Now this LFO, look, that's creating movement. And that movement, you're going to apply it to the filter. So you're going to click on map. Click on frequency. Yeah, now it's automating according to this. Let's slow it down. You see what's happening there? So we've got the original sound, but then we've also got the filtered sound as well. Now, what I'm going to do here, these percentage knobs here, these change where the top and bottom of that LFO is. So I'm going to push this up, 31, and now you'll watch the LFO, it stops there instead. 100, that's going to take it down to there. Now we're only sweeping in a smaller band of the EQ here, so let's have a listen. You can hear it like the change stays a bit more. And then you can just take it out. This way of doing it is a bit like a send and return within the channel. And then I can just increase the volume until I'm happy with it. Let's decrease this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do actually, important. The original sound, I'm going to turn that down a bit so I've got a bit more headroom here. Right, so I've got a bit more space to add this in now. And then you can put the original signal back up. Let's keep it there. Now I want this to go a little bit higher. Perfect. I think that's sounding bang on. That's exactly where I want it to be. Let's listen with the whole tune. Bass. Let's add that skank. All right. Now the trumpet. Now, the only thing I really want to do this, I'm going to add a little bit of overdrive to this trumpet. And actually, I want to check and see how long this is first. Let me just see how long we've been going for. 34 minutes. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. We're not hit the hour yet. So, all I want to add to this is a little bit of overdrive or a distortion. Which one do I want? Drive and color. Overdrive. Let's try this. And now this is only to add just a little bit of top end to that trumpet, just to make it a little bit brighter because it's a little bit muffled for me. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it a silly amount. Get ready. Now that's what we want to add to the sound. So let's turn down the dry and wet. And now I'm just going to slowly add it until it just brightens up that trumpet a little bit. Let's bring it down a little bit. Yeah. Now we've hit the half-hour mark. I'm going to leave it there in regards to tweaking the tune, and we're going to start arranging. So let's start arranging. Let's just expand this all out. Now, my usual method for this is to grab one of everything, click, drag, tab, drop. All right. Now, to hear this, because at the moment you're just hearing the loops. So look, that's going to go past there and it's going to carry on playing. As soon as I click this little red doodah here, yeah, so now we're working properly in arrangement view. The first thing I'm going to do is burp. Oh, God, right. And I need to do this until about 22. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is just tidy things up a little bit here so we can see more of what we want on screen. I know this is like supposed to be a production tutorial, but I think this is important. Group channels can be a little bit smaller. So we can make that a little bit smaller there. Fit more on screen. Hopefully we can fit everything in. I hope we can fit everything in. Yeah, we've just got everything in there. Yeah. All right. So arrangement. There's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm going to show you one way, which would be to copy everything so that you've got the same amount of bars. So we want 8 bars, which we've got here. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to highlight everything and duplicate it all, like so. Now this is what I'm going to call subtractive arrangement. Maybe that's already a term, who knows. I want my drop to land on... Let's do a shorter intro. So let's have it drop at 17. What I'm going to do is right-click just under the 17 here. Locator, and let's put drop. Again, I come from a dubstep and dance music background mostly, as well as loving reggae. So I still deal with like a build-up and a drop for DJing. But a lot of dub tunes, they just start with a... like just straight into it. You can do that. Maybe I'll address that in another video. But for this, I'm going to do a specific intro. And then what I'm going to do is just take things out. First thing I'm going to take out is the bass. Let's have a listen. What I might do is... I'm going to... Take that one out. And then do the same again here. Take that one out. So that sounds like... I'm going to take out the bubble. I'm going to take out the skank. Let's take out the snares and rims for now. Let's take out the cowbells completely. Let's take out them completely. And now we're going to half time this. I'm going to take every middle hat out. And them ones as well, like that. Take that out, we don't need it. Let's take that and leave that. And already we've got a build up and a drop. Easy as that. You know what I mean? Now let's work on the intro for the rest of this video and make it come into the drop. So what I want to do firstly is, let's have a listen. I'm going to add some effects on this trumpet. I feel like it needs some effects. So let's get a solid delay. Echo. I always use echo. It's a favourite one. Then I'm going to strip this down even further. Leave that in there. I know what I'm going to... I'm not even going to introduce that main melody yet. Let's do... Ba ba. I want slightly longer feedback. I want less dry wet. A little bit more wet. So we're not going to even have the full... Now this delay, I want to beef it up a bit. So we're going to just a little edit on the filter and the delay. A little bit of higher input here. So that delay signal now, it's getting a little beefier. Less reverb. Ping pong? Nah, stereo. I might even put a flanger or something on there. You know what? Why not? Let's do the same trick we did earlier on with these. I'm going to grab this effect rack, Control C. Let's get it on the trumpet. Now, another thing, I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. This is how I produce. It may seem a little ADHD. It may seem a little bit all over the place, jumping from bit to bit. But every time I play it, I hear something that I want to do. And it's just the best way to just do the things that you imagine when you hear them. So I'm going to create a gap. This bit, I want to shorten these, so it's bah, bah, bah. Oh. I want to thicken these up, so I'm going to duplicate, Control C, Control V, Shift and down. Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. How long have we got? I don't want to go over an hour. 45. I got 15 minutes. All right. Last 15 minutes. Let's blast through some stuff. Oh, I've made my screen tiny. What have I done? So, oh my God. In the last video, I said I was going to try and stop saying so as much. And happened. Now, one thing I'm going to add in here is a riser. So we need a new, let's do a MIDI channel. Control Shift and T. Yeah. Right, let's do operator. Now, we're going to make a white noise build up here. And then we're going to make a second build up, and hopefully that'll take us up to the 15 minutes. White noise build up, I've done in a couple of my videos before. You're going to click on your first oscillator in operator, go over to waveform. We're getting fast now. And noise white. And I want that to kick in for that much. Any note with white noise, it doesn't matter. Draw any note in, drag it out to full. I'm going to loop this so I can hear it properly. All right. Cover your ears. That's all that sounds like. Until you get the auto filter. All right, we're going to put the notch filter on. Yep, see how we can make a sweep with this. So let's, I need to click on this little device here, which if you've got the help on, will tell you that that's automation mode. So it switches from viewing clip automation to viewing track automation. So let's do that. You can see the screens change. We've got these lines appeared now. And then what I'm going to do is click on the filter frequency. And now you'll see here on the track, it says auto filter frequency. That means we're automating the frequency. Let's do this and let's draw a ramp. So all I've done, let me redo that because I do things too quick and I don't want people to think, Bosh, how am I supposed to learn anything when you're doing it too fast? Single click there, single click there, drag one of them up and play it. All right, I'm going to put a delay on it. Now I'm going to put a reverb on it. Let's do the Convolution Reverb Pro. And I want a small room for this one. So let's do ambience and small rooms. Let's turn the decay and the size down. All right, now we don't want this to go as high and we want it to ramp a bit more. So let's get a little bit closer in here. And let's carve this out a little bit. So let's cut it from lower. And then what I'm going to do is create a curve. And then we're going to have the volume quite low on this because it's a dub tune. It doesn't need that to be high in the mix. See, that's getting a bit too high there, I think. I want more of a curve. The more of these points you draw in, the more of a curve you can achieve. There we go, because that wasn't really curving how I wanted it to. Now, what I might do, something I don't often do here, I'm going to have that. I'm going to do this, and let's see how this sounds. Now, what I'm hearing here, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's give it a try. We want it to come right back down for there. This is the process. You have to keep listening to it. I know it's probably annoying for you guys, but I hope you can see what I'm doing. All right, now something else I've just heard there. I want to put a crash in, but I'm going to put 2 crashes in. And one of the crashes is going to split this bit up here. Because obviously, let's play it from there. You can hear it go and change. I want to split that up a little bit. So I'm going to go up into my drum group. Let's Control and T. Ableton samples, crash. Jesus Christ, sorry. Now I want that one to start it. And I want that. Oh, there we go. Right, so we need to lower the volume of this. Now I sometimes just do this at waveforms, like looking at these, trying to get them looking similar. We need a longer reverb or delay on that. Crash bang, it sort of disappears. It's too easy to hear it go. So what I want to do is, let's do a reverb again. Let's just do the good old Ableton stock reverb. Where are we? Here we go. Let's make it last a bit longer. Let's do a bit more highs, less lows, because it's a crash. All right, let's have a listen. What we got so far. No, let's not. I'm teasing you. Let's see how much time we've got left. 6 minutes. 6 minutes to make a siren. Control Shift and T again. Now, let's do this in Operator, because I know what I'm doing in there. I was going to do it in Wavetable just to use something different, but let's stick to Operator. Now, we want to make one that's... I want to make it that size. Control Shift and M to create your MIDI track. Now, the note matters a bit more here, so you need to find the note of your melodies. A. And then let's drop that down 2 to A1. That's bass now. So the first thing I'm going to do is EQ it. Take some of the bass out. Let's do that for now. And we're going to add some more. Let's add a triangle wave. Right, and we need to check the envelopes here. So I've just clicked on the envelope on the oscillator because they're all set like that. I want to set them full. All right. Now, first thing you're going to do is your pitch envelope. You're going to turn that on. It's at 100%. Now, what I like to do first is straighten everything out. So you can see here, this is the initial. Let's put that up to 0. 9. Your peak, sorry, put that up to 0. That's on 0. There we go. Now, so remember your pitch envelope's on 100, and all I've done is crank that right up to the top at the longest length. I'm going to turn this down a bit because it's loud. And then what I want you to do is turn your LFO on. Put the amount up. And then we're going to go back to the pitch envelope and we're going to drop the initial down by 12, so minus 12. We're going to drown this in reverb or something. Let's do a fresh room. Oh no, empty warehouse. Yep. Now I'm gonna listen to the whole thing, but pull that volume way down. Delay. Where's the delay at? Echo, sorry. Again, I only use echo. I just prefer the parameters and stuff on it. And I think we might leave it there for now. That's about the hour. So what we've covered is sort of beefing up your sounds a bit for the first half and then creating the build-up and the drop. So let's have a listen. Let me just make some of these a little bit smaller so you can tell you what. I'm going to put a crash at the start. And let's listen. Right, last thing I'm going to do, I always sneak something else in because I always hear something else I want to do. I want to make that LFO start a bit faster. Last thing I need to do is... So the pitch is set up to the highest, longest maximum time, but that's too long. It's not reaching its peak. So let's pull it back a bit. That's better. Right, one more listen to the whole thing. Let's turn everything down. Yeah. So you could put your trumpets back in there. Your skank, sorry. And that's it. I'm going to leave it there. So this has been Bosch's Beginner Bits. I can't even remember what version we're on now. It's part 3.5, I think, because I've carried this on from an old one. Don't forget to go to Scraps Audio if you want to grab this project file. It will be in its finished state as it is, as I've just finished this tutorial now. I'm going to save it. Saved. And that's the state that it's in now. Yeah, I'm not going to go back to the old one, but this is currently where it's at. My name's Bosch. This has been Bosch's Beginner Bits. Go to scrapsaudio.com to get the project file for this, and otherwise catch me on the socials, like, subscribe. It all helps. Hopefully we can get to the point where I can maybe make a little bit of money off this. It's just a bonus though. I love doing it anyway. So I'm going to end it there. Goodbye.